Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on arithmetic. In today's session, we'll see some applications of proportion and variation. So let's get started to the illustrations. Question 1 says if p square plus r square upon p plus r is equal to q square plus r square upon q plus r is equal to k, then find the value of k in terms of p and q. So this is a pretty good question. And herein we make use of the proportions. So basically, we had seen in our previous session that if there is a proportion of the form a by b is equal to c by d is equal to e by f, then this is equal to, we can write this as n times a plus, I mean say, let is p times a plus q times c plus r times e upon p times b plus q times d plus r times f, right? One thing to make sure ki the coefficient of a by b, a and b will be same. Similarly, coefficient of c and d will be same, and the coefficient of e and f will be same. This is to be noted, and this we had proved also in the previous session. So we will make use of this property of proportion, and let us see how to solve this question. So question says ki if p square plus r square upon p plus r is equal to q square plus r square upon q plus r, and this is equal to k, then we can write this as k is equal to nothing, I mean this we can write as, here it is p. Now this, if this term, let it be of the form a by b, and this is as c by d. So we can write this as what? The first term, which is p square plus r square plus minus times, I mean, so effectively we can write minus q square plus r square upon p plus r minus q plus r. So basically the coefficient of q square plus r square, we are taking minus 1. Like here we can take q and q. So we are taking minus 1, minus 1. And for p, here we are taking plus 1 both in numerator and denominator. So if we solve this, this becomes p square minus q square upon p minus q. This further, if we solve, this will be p minus q into p plus q upon p minus q. This further can be written as p plus q. So this was the question. We have to find k in terms of p plus q. This is the answer to this question. So I mean, herein we have made use of this property of proportion, and thereby very easily and conveniently we can solve the question. If not, then we could have used the conventional method of going by the equation, like taking p square plus r square as k times p plus r, and q square plus r square as k times q plus r, and then proceed simplifying the equation. Then also we would have got the same answer. However, that would have been very tedious compared to the process which we just saw. So this we should, this is a very important concept which we have seen. This we should always keep at the back of our mind. Now let's move to question number 2. Herein it says a child Satvik is playing with a ball on his roof, which is 675-meter high from the ground. Inadvertently, he drops the ball from the roof and ball hits ground 15 seconds in 15 seconds. If it is known that the distance that a ball falls through when dropped from a certain height varies directly with the square of the time of fall, find the distance the ball falls through in the 10th second. So see, we will break the question. There is a, it says that there's a roof. If something falls from there, so the distance is given as, distance is proportional to the distance that a body falls through when dropped from a certain height varies directly with the square of the time of fall. So distance is proportional to time square, right? So this we can convert to equation form as d is equal to k times t square. Now we have been given that the roof is 675-meter high, and the ball when dropped from the roof reaches ground in 15 seconds. So it means 675 meter is covered in 15 seconds, so 15 square. So we should be careful of the units which we are taking. So here we have taken time in seconds and distance in meters, so that we should be careful. So now if we solve this, I mean, when I say careful in terms of unit, we have to consistent wherever we are using now henceforth. So it is 15 into 15. So this is 225. 225 into 3 times, it goes 3 times. So k is equal to, basically k is equal to, we can say, is 3, right? So equation becomes k is equal to 3 times t square is a equation. Now what is the question? Question is, find the distance the ball falls through in the 10th second. In the 10th second, that is in 1 second from 9th, when the 9th second end, and till the time when the 10th second end. In that 1 second, how much distance has the ball covered? So for that, what we will do, we will basically what we will do, we will take d10, I mean distance at the end of 10th second minus distance at the cover at the end of 9th second. That difference will be the answer. So this we can write as k into 10 square minus k into 9 square. So this we can write as k into 10 square minus 9 square, which is 10 minus 9 into 10 plus 9. And we know k is nothing but 3. So it becomes 3 into 1 into 19, which is 57. So, and 57 is what? Minute, right? Minute. So the answer is 57 meters. So the ball covers a distance of 57 meter in 10th second. In 10th second, right? So this was a question on variation, where we use the concept of direct variation and how to solve the question. Now another question: if the time taken by a bus for a journey is directly proportional to the distance to be covered and inversely proportional to the square root of the number of passengers traveling in the bus. Okay, so it says that the time taken. So time is proportional to the distance to be covered, that is d, and inversely proportional to the square root of number of passengers traveling. So let the number of passengers traveling be given by n. So square root of n. So this is the general form. This we can write as t is equal to some constant k times d by root n. Okay. Now the bus operates between Varanasi and Sasaram, which is 120 km from Varanasi, and stops at only one place, Mohania, where any passenger can board or deboard. The bus starts from Varanasi with 36 passengers and reaches Mohania, which is 50 km from Varanasi, in 2 hours, where 5 passengers deboard and 18 passengers board the bus. Find the time taken by the bus to reach Sasaram from Mohania. So let us see the, I mean, so suppose this is Varanasi. So from Varanasi, it goes to Sasaram, and in between somewhere is Mohania. This distance is given as 50 kilometers, and from Mohania to Sasaram is somewhat 70 kilometers, right? And what happens here? N, it starts with n is equal to 36 passengers. When the bus starts from Varanasi, it starts with 36 passengers. Here what happens? 5 passengers deboard and 18 passengers board the bus. So N1 becomes what? N1 will be 36 minus 5 is 31 plus 18 is 49. And now nowhere in between the number of passengers changes, and the same, the bus having the 49 passengers reach Sasaram. So find the time taken. So what is the time taken to reach this? This we have to find, right? So this is basically the question summarized in a nutshell. So now see what happens. So one thing, I mean, either we can substitute now in the first case. Here it is given that t is equal to 2 hours. 2 hours it's given. So 2 hours. And let this be t1, right? Or for the simplicity, let this be T1, this be T2, this be N2, this be N1, and this is say D1, this is say D2, right? So now see, one way could be to substitute first T is equal to 2 hours, distance is 50 kilometer, N is 36, obtain the value of K. Or what we can do, we can use the concept of T1 by T2 is equal to nothing but D1 by root N1 into D2 by root N2. So root N2 will go to the numerator, right? So this we will do and directly we will find. T1 we know is 2 hours. T2 we have to find, that is a variable. D1 we know is 50 kilometers. Root N1 is root 36. D2 is 70 kilometers, and root and square root N2 is square root 49. So this we will further solve, simplify 50 into 7 upon 6 into 70, right, is equal to 2 by T2. From here we can write T2 as, I mean this, so T2 is nothing but 12 by 5. 6 to the 12 upon 5. And here what was the unit of T1? T1 was 2 hours, so this will also be in hours, right? So what is that timing? 2.4 hours, which is 2 hours into and 24 minutes, right? So this is the required answer. So this is a very simple question. Just I mean, we could have summarized the question and then used the concept of variation. So herein we use T1 by T2. I mean, if something is in the form of T is proportional to D by root N, so we can write as T1 upon T2 is equal to D1 upon root N1 into root N2 upon D2, which is constant, right? So that way we can solve this. Now going forward to question number 4, here Tata Motors ferries its iron sheet prepared at Jamshedpur plant to its Pune car manufacturing unit via Rourkela. So means there is somewhere here Jamshedpur, somewhere here is Pune, and in between would be a place called Rourkela, right? The time taken by the train to cover the distance varies directly with the distance and inversely as the velocity. The velocity varies directly as the cube root of the quantity of iron sheet ferried and inversely as the square root of. So let us write this. What does this say? This says that time varies directly directly with the distance and inversely as the velocity, right? Velocity. Further, it is given that velocity varies directly as the cube root of quantity of iron sheet. So let that be q upon inversely as the square root. Inversely means 1 upon. So inversely as the square root of number of carriage. So let that be n. And this is cube root. So this is here. Now this v, I mean one way would be we can take this as v is equal to k times cube root q upon square root n, and this v we will substitute here, so it becomes t is equal to k1 times d upon v k times cube root q into square root n, right? So now see, this k1 is a constant, k is another constant. This I can write as, say, another constant, a single constant k into d root n upon cube root q. So this is the final form of variation of time with respect to different variable, right? So now further the question says that if the train train carrying 125 million ton of iron sheet in 49 carriages. So what is it? It is given that train started from Jamshedpur. So what is the initial Q1? Q1 is 125 MT and number of carriage N1 is 49, right? And I started from Jamshedpur, reached Raurkela, which is 200 kilometers. 200 kilometer. Let this be D1 in 4 hours. So T1 is 4 hours, right? How in 4 hours at Raurkela the train offloaded. When the train reaches here, the train offloaded 61 million ton of steel, and therefore the number of carriages also reduced to 36. So what is the reduced quantity of iron which is to be ferried from Raurkela to Pune? That is 125 minus 61, which is nothing but 64. And what is the reduced number of carriage? That is 36, right? And from Raurkela to Pune, the distance is given as 1400 kilometer. So D2 is 1400 kilometer. So how much time would be taken? So similar to the previous question what we had seen, let this be a time T2 and T2 we have to find. So again we can use the same concept of T1 by T2 would be K would get cancelled. So what remains is D1, I mean K from numerator and denominator because of T1 T2 would get cancelled. What remains is D1 into root N1 upon cube root Q1, and then again it will come D2 into root N2 into cube root of Q2, right? So all the values we have basically, so T1 we know is 4 hours, T2 we have to find, D1 we know is 200 kilometers, into root N1 is 49, root 49 is 7 upon root Q1. Q1 is 125, so root of 1 cube root of 125 is 5, and D2 is 1400 kilometers, 1400 into root N2, N2 is 36, so it becomes 6, and here it is cube root of Q2, Q2 is 64, so this becomes 4. So here 200 into 7 is 1400, right? And this 4 gets cancelled with this 4. So T2 from here is what? 6 5 ja 30, right? 30. So basically the train takes 30 hours to reach Pune from Raurkela. So this is a pretty easy question. We use the concept of variation and proportionality, and using that we solve the question, right? Here are some basic level questions, but just for the simplicity and better understanding, I am doing in a very basic and finer steps. Now another question. The cost of diamond varies directly with the square of its weight. So basically what does the question say? That the diamond, say cost price of diamond varies directly with the square root of its weight, right? This is being said. Now the diamond is broken into 3 parts whose weights are in ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3, right? So what we will do here, let the weights be x, 2x, or rather let us suppose w, 2w and 3w, right? This is a generic equation. So what is the Cp? So from here I can, generic equation would be Cp is equal to k into w square, right? So the total weight of diamond would be 6w. Okay, so Cp 1, I mean the original CP would be what? K times 6W whole square. Now, when it is broken, so what would be the, let this be CP0. Okay, now what would be CP1? What would be the cost of the individual parts, broken parts, that is W, 2W and 3W. That is CP1 in bracket W would be what? K into W square. Then CP2, that is of 2W, will be K into 2W whole square, and CP3, which is of weight 3W, will be nothing but K into 3W square, right? From this proportionality we can write. So what would be the sum? Then individual sum here, summation of CPI, I from 1 to 3, would be what? K times W square, 4W square, 9W square, which is 9, 4, 13, 1, 14W square. So K into 14 into W square. Okay, this is one thing. Now it is said that if the diamond had been broken into 3 equal parts, right? So what it says, if the diamond had been equal parts, that is 2W each, right? Total weight is 6W, 6W, 3 equal parts, so 2W each. So what would happen? What would have been the total weight of, so sorry, then total price would have been what? That would be 3 times, I mean on, because 3 parts have same weight, so same cost they will have, 3 into K into 2W square, which is 12K and W square. So this difference, this minus this is given as, so that is given as 14K into W square minus 12K into W square is given as 1000 crore. 1000 crore. So from here we can say that 2K, so rather 2K W square is that much, so KW square is 500 crore, right? That is given to us. So what is the original cost? Original price, I mean CP0. CP0 is K times 6W whole square. So which is nothing but 36 into K times W square, and KW square we know is 500 crore. So it will be 36 into 500 crores, right? Very simple question, nothing, no brain to be used. Just the process we should be aware of, and the approach, and the same thing we are looking over here. So it is 36 into 500. So the value is 18,000 crores. So 18,000 crore was the cost of that diamond, right? This is the answer to this question. So now next we'll move to question number 6. So here question says the Kaleen Bhaiya runs a carpet manufacturing unit in Mirzapur. In his factory, 8 workers can make 30 carpets in 5 days. How many? However, anticipating higher demand in view of the festive season, Kaleen Bhaiya wishes to manufacture 150 carpets in 10 days. Find the number of workers required. So see, we will try to solve this using 2 methods. One, the conventional approach, and other using the proportion. Method 1, using conventional approach. So see, basically this is a problem of time and work, which we would see soon in the coming sessions. However, since we are covering this proportion, I thought it prudent to cover this here only, a part of that time and work thing, though we will see this in much detail in that session. But just to brief the concept here, it is like, see, Kalin Bhaiya runs a corporate manufacturing, carpet manufacturing unit in Mirzapur. In his factory, 8 workers can make 30 carpets in 5 days, right? So, what does this mean? What is the total work done? Work done would be, and however, anticipating higher demand in view of the festive season, Kalin Bhaiya wishes to manufacture 150 carpets in 10 days. Find the number of workers required. So, number of workers, let's that be m. So number of workers is directly proportional to the number of carpet, right? Number of carpet. If more carpet is to be produced, more number of workers are required, right? So this is one thing. Then again we will see the relation of number of workers to the other variable, which is days. So if more is the number of worker, less will be the number of days required. So it is 1 by d, right? 1 by d. Here C is a carpet. In general parlance, we call it a work. In terms of work, it is like M is the number of men. So more is the number of men, more will be the work done. And if more is the number of men, higher is the number of manpower. So lower will be the number of days required. So if we combine this, M will be nothing but proportional to W by D, right? So same thing here I write, M will be proportional to the number of carpets upon D, right? So this I can write as M1 by M2 is equal to what? C1 by D1 into C2 by D2, right? Basically M1, for M1 I am writing C1 by D1, and for M2 I am writing C2 by D2. So D2 will go in numerator now, and the constant term will get cancelled from numerator denominator. So now here C1 we know, C1 is they are preparing 30 carpets initially, right? So basically if I now compare here, case 1, case 2, initial carpet was 30, number of workers 8, and number of days required is 5. In case 2, the number of carpet to be produced is 150, number of men is a variable we have to find, and the number of days is 10, right? So this let be C1 M1 D1, and this let be C2 M2 D2. So the same thing we will substitute here. So here we will get C1 is equal to 30, D2 is 10, D1 is 5, and C2 is 150, and M1 we know is 8, M2 we have to find. So from here we can say that 35 ja, and so from here M2 becomes what? 5 5 ja 25, 25 here ja 200, 200 by 10 is 20. So 20 number of workers are required. 20 workers are required. So Kalin Bhaiya would require 20 workers to finish his work of producing 150 carpets in 10 days, right? This is the approach using the proportion or the variation approach, right? This is also very, I mean, intuitive only, nothing, no much concept is required. Now I solve another method too, that is using concept of chain rule of proportion. So basically, in essence, this is not a different concept than what we saw in method 1. That is purely based on the same concept only, the proportionality. However, the representation and the way we will solve the approach may appear a bit different, and quite useful also, time consuming. I mean, so I mean time saving. So let us see how do we proceed ahead. So here what is it? We have to find the number of workers. Let that be m, right? And then we will start with the initial number of workers. We were given there were 8 workers. So it is 8. Now we will multiply by the different factors. What is it? The first factor is number of carpet. So we have to produce more carpet. So more carpet than the current scenario. So it will require more number of manpower. So we will do like 150 carpet is to be produced and 30 carpet was initially produced. So I mean, if 30 carpet production of 30 carpet requires 8 worker, so 150 would require just 5 times more. So same thing we are doing. Now again we will multiply this. Now the second factor is the number of days. So now since we know that days, uh, more is the number of manpower, less will be the days required, right? So here it will be inverse proportion. So initially it was 5 days, and the second case it is 10 days, so it will be inverse proportion. So basically that will be 5 by 10, right? Or I mean basically it says that since manpower and days are inversely related, so if the number of days is doubled, the manpower would be half. So this manpower is basically half. 5 to 1 by 2 it becomes. This concept will become even more clear when we see other examples also, but this is the basic concept. What we do, we start with the given quantity, which is 8, which is the same as the I mean we have to find the number of workers m. What is the initial number of worker, which is 8? Then we will start applying the impact of other factors. What will be the impact of more number of carpet to be produced? So more carpet produced, so more manpower required, so the ratio will be more than 1, so 150 by 30. Now what is the other factor, which is number of days? So more manpower, less days required, so it has a opposite impact. So here it will be 5 by 10, right? And then if we solve this directly, this becomes 5, and then 5 2 2 4, so here it is 20. So this is much simpler, and in one go we can get the answer, right? We did not have to form equation or proportionality sign and then get to the answer. So this is very simple and intuitive. Now we will use this method in other problem also. Let us see what the problem says. Kalin Bhaiya again runs a carpet manufacturing unit in Mirzapur. In his factory, 8 workers can make 30 carpets in 5 days. However, anticipating lockdown in the country in 10 days, in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, Kalin Bhaiya wishes to manufacture and store inventory of maximum number of carpets, right? Because he knows that in coming 10 days the plant would be shut down because of the lockdown. So find the maximum number of carpets which he can get manufactured with the help of 36 workers. So to produce maximum number of workers, he has sourced in more number of workers. Earlier he had 8 workers, now he has 36 number of workers before the lockdown starts. So again herein also I go by the both the methods. Method 1, we have to find what number of carpets, right? So C is proportional to what? More workers, more carpet can be produced. So directly proportional to the number of worker or number of manpower, right? Let it be worker W, and then days. More carpet would require more days. So it is directly proportional. Just see the difference here. More carpet we have to produce, so more number of days would be required independently. So when we say that, see, and one more thing we should remember in proportionality, when I'm saying more carpet to be produced, more worker required. So this we are saying assuming that the other factors are constant. Here the other factor is number of days. So the number of days we assume if it is constant, then the number of carpet produced will be directly proportional to the number of worker required. Similarly, when the number of worker is constant, then if we have to produce higher number of carpet, more number of days will be required. So now if I combine both, I can write as C is proportional to W times D, right? So from here now I can write as C1 upon C2 is W1 into D1 upon W2 into D2. What is W2? Initial number of worker is 8, initial number of days is 5, and W2 is 36 workers, W2 is 36, and D2 is in 10 days, because in 10 days only, 10 days time lockdown is going to start. So in 10 days he has to produce so many. And here C1 we know, C1 is given as 30 carpets, C2 we have to know. So basically I will write here also that W1 is 8, D1 is 5, W2 is 36, D2 is 10, and C1 is 30 units, right? So now if this is given, so from here I can say that C2 is nothing but 5 will cancel in this 6 times. So here C2 is 6 into 36 upon 8, right? So 8 4 ja 32, 8 5 ja, so this becomes 6 5 ja 30, 270 carpets, 270 carpets can be produced. Now let us use the chain rule method. In one stroke we can get the answer here. See, we have to find the number of carpets produced. See, what is the initial carpet produced? Initial carpet is 30. Now, the first factor is, say, start from here. First factor is number of workers. So more workers, more carpet can be produced. Direct proportionality. So we have to produce. We are given more number of workers. So 36 by 8 will be the, yeah. It has a multiplier impact on the number of carpet which can be produced. Second factor is number of days. So we know that more number of days, more carpet can be produced. So it is again a direct proportionality. So it will be 10 upon 5. So hence now we can solve this 5, 2, 2, 4, 4, 9. So 9, 3, 30 ja 270. Directly we can get the answer. So this is using the chain rule of proportionality. This is a very simple and useful concept. So going forward, we will use this only. Now question number 8 says, Kalin Bhaiya runs a carpet manufacturing unit in Mirzapur. In his factory, 6 workers can make 30 carpets in 5 days. However, anticipating higher demand in view of the festive season, Kalin Bhaiya wishes to manufacture 150 carpets with the help of 15 workers. Find the number of days required. So the question is number of days. So number of days will be, what initial number of days is 5 days. Now, what is the impact of the first factor? First factor is number of workers. So now, if more workers, then the less number of days is required. So worker has a opposite impact. So it will be 15 workers. So it will be 6 upon 15, right? Because more workers, less number of days will be required. So 5 will get reduced to 5 into 6 upon 15. Now second factor is carpets. So more number of carpet, more number of days required. So it is a direct proportionality. So here we have to produce 150. So 150 upon 30. It has a multiplier impact, right? 150 upon 30. So this we can now write, solve this as 15, 10 times, this 10, 3 times, 3 divide 2 times. So this is D is equal to 10 days, right? Very simple, just a one line thing to solve this question. So again here using chain rule. Now question number 9, again on a similar pattern but a slightly different concept. Kalin Bhaiya runs a carpet manufacturing unit in Mirzapur. In his factory, 6 workers can make 30 carpets in 5 days working 10 hours a day. So here one more variable we have added, which is 10 hour, number of hours worked per day. However, anticipating higher demand in view of the festive season, Kanin Bhaiya wishes to manufacture 300 carpets with the help of 15 workers working 8 hours a day. Find the number of days required. So again here question is number of days would be initial number of days. How many days were required? 5 days. Now what is the first variable? Number of workers. More workers, this number of days is required. So it will be 6 upon 15 workers in second case, right? Now second variable is number of carpet. More carpet, more days required. So it will be 300 upon initial is 30, right? Then third variable is number of hours a day. So more, if anyone other factors constant, if other factors, other variables are constant, if anyone works more hours a day, so number of days required would be less. So again it has a inverse relationship with the number of days. So basically initially it was 10 hours, now they are working 8 hours, right? So since the number of hours is reducing, number of days would be more, so it will be 10 upon 8. So this is the we will solve this. 15 2 ja 20, this divides 3 times, 3 2 times, right? So and here it becomes 4, this 2. So here it is 25 days is coming, 5 into 5, 25 days. So this is the answer to this question. What did we do? We started with the initial number of days. I will write the generic rule also. That is, I mean nothing to write here. See, we started with the first thing. What is the given initial number of days? We have to find the final number of days. We started with initial number of days. Then we kept on applying the impact of different variables, analyzing whether that variable has a direct proportionality or an indirect proportionality. If it has a direct proportionality, we will go by, I mean, see here in this first case, the first variable is the number of workers. So if the number of workers is 6 and it is getting increased to 15, so more workers, less number of days would be required. So it has a reducing impact, 6 upon 15. Similarly, if here it is second variable is number of carpet. More carpet produced, more days required. So it has 300 upon 30. Similarly, number of hours, opposite impact, right? I mean, more hours working per day, number of days required is less. So it will be inverse relationship, which is 10 upon 80. So that way we simplified this calculation and got 25 days as answer. Now we'll move to question number 10. Similar concept. Here, Kanin Bhaiya runs a carpet manufacturing unit in Mirzapur. In his factory, 6 workers can make 30 carpets in 5 days, working 10 hours a day. However, anticipating higher demand in view of the festive season, Kanin Bhaiya wishes to manufacture 300 carpets with the help of 15 workers working with double the efficiency. Double the efficiency, 8 hours a day. Okay. So find the number of days required. So we have to find the number of days. Here question is, what is the initial number of days? 5 days, right? Now we will apply the impact of different variables. Initially 6 worker, now 15 worker. More workers, less days would be required in inverse relationship. So it will be 6 upon 15. A reducing impact it will be. Then second variable is number of carpets. More carpet, more days required. So it will be 300 upon 30. Then third variable is number of hours per day. More number of hours per day, less number of days required. So it has a opposite relation. So it will be 10 upon. So number of hours gets reduced from 10 to 8, right? So if the number of hour gets reduced, the number of days required would be more. So it will be 10 upon 8. And then the another variable we have added, that is efficiency. So how is efficiency related to, if more efficient are the workers, the number of time or the number of days required would be lower. So that is inverse relationship, right? So the number of days, if the efficiency is doubled, the number of days required would be half, 1 by 2. So now this we will solve. So it is 5 3 ja, 3 2 ja, 2 gets cancelled here, 3 gets here cancelled, 100. So now it is 100 by 8, which is 12.5 days. 12.5 days is the answer to this question, right? So this is the very simple. Otherwise we can use that proportionality basic approach and solve the question. However, this is a very simple and straightforward time efficient method. Now we will see another problem on application of variation. Here it says that under a tax structure, an employee has to pay a certain fixed sum of tax irrespective of their income strata. In addition to this, they have to pay an amount which is proportional to the excess of their salary over 2,50,000. Mrs. Archana pays a total tax of rupees 1 lakh when her annual salary is 6 lakhs, and her husband Mr. Abhishek pays a total tax of rupees 1,30,000 when his annual salary is rupees 7,50,000. Find the annual salary of Mr. Chandrachud, who pays an annual tax of 1,10,000. So let us see what happens. Let us analyze the case of Mrs. Archana. It is said that the tax structure is T1 is some fixed part plus they have to pay an amount which is proportional to the excess of their salary over 250. So if the salary is S, how much more is this salary over 2,50,000? This part a certain proportion. Let that proportion be P. We can write so, right? So they have to, they have to pay a fixed part and then some additional part. What is that additional part? Additional part is certain proportional to the excess of. That is a certain part of the excess of their salary. Let that part be P and the excess salary be this. Right. This is what is given to us in a general form. Now, in case of Mrs. Archana, she pays a total tax of 1 lakh rupees. And here we do not know what is the fixed component, but her total salary is given as 6 lakhs. 6 lakhs minus 2,50,000 into proportionality. What is the proportionality here? Let it be P. We do not know, right? And then this is for Mrs. Archana. And then if we take for her husband, Mr. Abhishek, he earns, he pays a tax of 1,30,000. So again, it will also similar. There would be some fixed part, and then his income is 7,50,000 minus 2,50,000, right? And into P. Now there are two equations and two variables. Two variables of F and P, and equations are this. So we will subtract this equation from here. So we subtract 1 from 2, we will get 30,000. F minus F gets cancelled out, and here it will be what? 750 minus 250 is 5 lakh P, and here it is 3,50,000 P. So it becomes 1,50,000 P. From here we can get P is nothing but 30,000 upon 150,000, which is 1 by 5. Right? So this is the proportionality P. So now we have to find for Mr. Chandrachud, who pays an annual tax. So now for Mr. Chandrachud, here it is given that he pays a annual tax of 1,10,000. There would be out of this annual tax there will be some fixed part plus his salary we do not know. Let that be S minus 2,50,000 into proportionality we know is 1 by 5. So now we can solve this. and f also we know. From here we can also find f is nothing but, now we substitute this as 1 by 5. So here it was 5 lakh, 5 into 1 by 5 is 1 lakh, it is 130, so f is 30,000, right? So here we can say that 1 lakh 10,000 is equal to 30,000 plus s minus 2 lakh 50,000 into 1 by 5. So this is this becomes 110 minus 30 is 80,000. 80 into 5 is 4 lakhs. So 4 lakh is equal to s minus 2 lakh 50,000. So from here we can say that Chandrachud's annual income is 6 lakh 50,000 in rupees term. This is the answer to this question. So pretty simple, straightforward. Certainly, I'm sure in examinations you will not write all these equations and all. You can easily, solve half of the calculation will be mentally done. But for the sake of simplicity and clear understanding, I am writing in a very finer steps. So I think that's it for the today's session. It was a very basic session wherein we saw some basic approaches and illustrations around proportions and variations and their applications. So hope it was useful to you. We just see you in the next session. Thanks for watching this.